Greetings, Guardians, my name is Bife here. As we head into the next era of Destiny, we're left dealing with the aftermath of the battle against the Witness. The aftermath in question is of course the darkness and memories of the Witness and those it consumed, and their combination with the light of the Traveler. As a result, something has been made real, and this something is the Echo, or Echoes, as there's more than one of them. But with the memories of those that the Witness used to contain within its multitudes having been given shape, there is something that hasn't been considered by most of us yet. Whose memories are being given shape? And with those memories being given form by the light, is it possible that those parts of the Witness are now free and might come to life? So, to be really clear, the Echoes are described by the game in further detail thanks to the cutscene that dropped at the start of Act 2. Take a listen.
The Witness is dead. There was no predicting what would come next. But this is what we know. When the Witness fell, the Black Fleet's eons of salvation and death surged. Its darkness merged with the Traveler's light, formed first into memory, and then into shape. This impossible object, this echo of the fleet's victims, holds immense power. And it was left for anyone to find.
So these Echoes are remnants of those civilizations that have been conquered by the Black Fleet, which means we could be looking at a ton of dead alien civilizations that have been mentioned within the lore, and a few new ones that we've never heard of that have been snuffed out. There are some civilizations that have been destroyed by the Hive that could be contained here if the Witness followed onwards or contributed to their destruction, such as the Harmony, the Kugu, the Ammonite, or perhaps even the Taisha Beth. There are others that were destroyed by the disciples of the Witness, such as the Arslid, who were destroyed by Rook. And then there were others that were snuffed out directly by the Black Fleet, such as the Noesis. And last, but not least, of course, there are those dissenting voices within the Witness from the original precursor civilization that created it. All of these memories of those held within the Witness were released, and at least a few of them have turned into Echoes. So with those memories being made manifest and being given form by the light, not only do they represent great matrices of power, but they also might have more to them. Individual personalities that correspond with the memories of those that came before that were trapped within the Witness, preserved for the final shape. I say this with a few things in mind. The first of which is that we seem to have proof that there are voices within each of the Echoes, and secondly because of what was said during the Vidoc explaining Echoes. Let's start with the little snippet from the Vidoc, just to give you the context I'm looking for.
As we get deeper and deeper towards the core, it really starts to become very apparent.
So you're going to go down into these landmarks and you're going to unearth the ancient secrets of a lost civilization.
So we actually get a preliminary look at the Nessus core just before we meet the Conductor. We can see it as we slow walk down these steps, and it's a massive tropical area with a ton of alabaster white architecture. And whilst some of it does have Vex motifs, some of it looks very new. It doesn't appear to be the same kind of pyramidal architecture in quite the same style that we've seen from the Black Fleet. This may well be our lost civilization, as the Bungie devs were talking about, and we can't identify what that civilization is right now. At least I don't think we can, but maybe we'll get more about it as time goes on. You can, however, see a few odd structures in the background. In particular, off in the Radiolarian fluid, you can see a different kind of strange pyramid, and the foliage that you find here isn't native to Nessus naturally either. Something else has made these memories, and I don't think it's Maya Sundaresh either. In the lore of the episode, we see a variety of logs from Maya's perspective in the lore, and it's something which gives us an idea of what it was like for her to start creating the Choral Vex, what her thoughts are on how she should organize the universe, and how she can save humanity and give it another golden age. In one of the earliest logs, either the second or the third, depending on whether a 00 entry crops up, you can actually see her talking about a voice that she found within the Echo. It can be found in the lore of the Spectrum shell, also known as either the Karen or Fallout Boy shell depending on the shader you use. Yeah, seriously, take another look at it if you somehow hadn't noticed that. Anyway, the lore of this ghost shell reads as follows. It is strange to be awake, physically, after so long spent wandering. Keeping a log will help, at very least to track the days, as will my silly little joke to make myself feel important. 2 days after the rebuilding of myself, me, I suppose. I ignored and abandoned the best person I knew. I feel foolish, empty, daunted at the immensity and masochism of my own stupidity. It feels childish to admit I'd always assumed she would follow me. I realize how naive that is, but I really thought I wouldn't be by myself for long. I thought she was aligned with my vision. At least I'm not alone here. My new ally more than makes up for the Vex's dreadful company. His disposition is calming, reassuring, a welcome voice when I need affirmation and guidance. And such a fascinating origin. Such astounding variance in biology and culture. I look forward to our continued partnership. But still, it isn't the same. I feel a grief I did not know possible. There are questions I wish I could ask, jokes I wish I could make. It is difficult not to feel like the world has ended. And as I begin to comprehend what happened, I think it already has. There's a lot more important detail in that lore tab about Maya Sundaresh and the clear search that she's undergoing for Chioma Essie within the Vex network and all of the information there. If you want to understand what she's looking for and the further notes of it, go ahead and take a look into the Enigma protocol and look at all the archived Golden Age data. You'll start to very quickly realize, if you look into the deeper parts of the lore, that the items in question from Golden Age culture bear some relation in some manner to Chioma Essie. In particular, one of the objects that was saved was port wine, something which was mentioned as part of the favorite anniversary dinner for Chioma Essie and Maya Sundaresh. But here is really the heart of everything that I made the original point in this video about. Maya talks about an ally, one with a more calming and reassuring disposition compared to the Vex, one of a fascinating origin and biology. And it's here that we need to look at the Echo, because inevitably, whatever this new ally is bound to be the voice within the Echo itself. And from here, the question remains, whose voice is Maya hearing? And to that matter, how much influence does it have? Will this be the case that with everyone who acquires an Echo, we will see a strange voice from within it, advising or commanding or even pleading with the one who wields them? Could this be happening to Fikrul? Could this be happening to the Hive Gods? Or even to us, should we acquire an Echo for ourselves? And what is the agenda of this particular voice? There are two possibilities. These Echoes could well be confused and perhaps are like the Dissenters. They might have been part of the final shape and calcified into place, and might now simply be confused and looking to leave as quickly as possible. Or they could have been voices within the final shape, within the Witnesses' Chorus, voices that were ready to be a part of a perfect finality, voices that joined it willingly. If that is the case, they will inevitably try to pull their way back to the final shape. They will attempt to impose complete control over the universe, and they may well use those who have discovered them as puppets. It isn't clear how much authority the Echoes can assert over those that find them, but I think it is worth remembering that when Maya worked in partnership with the Voice, it was one that would give her guidance and affirmation. That at least implies that there is some degree of influence that the Voice has. Whatever these entities might be and whatever their motivations are, it is worth remembering that we are not just dealing with one individual that has a powerful source of energy. We are dealing with two individuals, and they might both be villains. But that's all from me for now. Shorter video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and hopefully this gives you an insight into the more interesting question surrounding the Echoes. Namely, who's inside each of them? What species did they come from? And who do they represent? What perspective on the final shape do they have? If you have any thoughts on those questions, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments section. And again, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you want more stories from worlds near or far, remember to hit subscribe and the bell next to subscribe to turn on those email notifications. But as per usual, know that your viewership, as always, is quite enough for me. And that in the meantime, my name is Byf. Per audacia ad astra. I'll see you, Starside.